Good day, friends. It's a bit colder outside and you're complaining that you're not going anywhere? Be thankful that you're not living in the north, more specifically in the Republic of Sakha, of the Russian Federation in the village of Ojmjakon, or even worse, that you're not spending the winter at the Antarctic station Vostok. The low temperatures in Ojmjakon are largely due to the terrain. It is located in a valley where the air from the surrounding mountains flows into. The temperature can remain steady in January, for weeks constantly at -50 degrees. So it's no surprise that this location is rightfully called the coldest place on Earth. The lowest temperature in Ojmjakon's history reached -71 degrees Celsius. In the 20th century, it was a stopover for reindeer herders. However, the Soviet government, in an effort to settle the nomads, did make this settlement permanent. It's ironic that the word Ojmjakon means non-freezing water, in honor of a distant mountain spring. Nevertheless, people still live and work here. Children go to school. In the Yakutsk village of Ojmjakon, there are fewer than 100 people living. People are mostly engaged in cattle breeding, reindeer herding and fishing. In the summer, residents go to Senosek. There's internet and cell service, a small airport built during World War II, a school, hospital, daycare, library, bakery, gas station, gym, and store. By the way, the school only closes when it's colder than -52 degrees. The shortest day in December is 3 hours long, but there are white nights in the summer. That said, the temperature can swing a lot. It can be +30 during the day and below 0 at night. Most houses still burn coal or wood to keep warm, just like they did 100 years ago. There's not much modern equipment. The kids are bundled up like cabbages with only their eyes showing. They can only get around on sleds. They'd never be able to walk in all those clothes. Adults wear fur coats, down jackets, fur hats, and tall fur boots made from reindeer skin. They put on 2 or 3 pairs of tights, pants, and socks. They protect their faces from frostbite with caps and scarves, but people still get frostbite sometimes. But you know how women are. It's happened that women have worn nylon tights under their fur coats when it's -50 degrees and they didn't freeze. These are everyday problems faced by the people of Ojmjakon. Ink pens freeze, batteries lose power, and many locals keep their cars running the whole day because they're afraid they won't start them again. Additional heaters are installed in cars. Arctic diesel is used. Diesel fuel is mixed with kerosene. Many drivers make their own special pipe for heating the fuel. And there's another problem: funerals. In such a cold climate, it can take 3 days to dig a grave in the frozen ground. In this case, the ground must first be warmed with fire and hot coals must be laid around the edges. Lately, the village has been trying to develop tourism. Ojmjakon has been hosting the Pole of Cold Rally Raid Festival since 2011. This area is also known for Lake Labinkir and Mount Mishaha. A company offers a visit to the village to experience living in these conditions. If any girl dared to risk doing her makeup for Instagram for free and isn't afraid of frostbite, she can fearlessly head to Ojmjakon. But don't forget that there's another more extreme human habitat in the world. It's located on the other side of the world. It's the Russian station Vostok in Antarctica. It's located directly in the interior of the continent at the geomagnetic South Pole, in the middle of an eternal snow of ice. Under the ice dome that the station sits on is an ancient freshwater lake. To describe the climate of the station, suffice it to say that there is no colder place on the planet. It seems that Russians really like winter. It's here that the absolute lowest temperature on the planet was recorded in 1983, -89.2. Over the course of the year, thermometer readings range between -31 to -68 degrees. The absolute maximum was observed here in 1957. At that time, the thermometer showed an unbelievable -13 degrees Celsius. The polar night lasts from April to the end of August, a full 120 days. Wind speed in winter can reach 50 or more meters per second. And temperature isn't yet the main inconvenience for a person's life on Vostok. There's almost zero air humidity, as well as a lack of oxygen and carbon dioxide. The station is located at an altitude of over 3 kilometers above sea level. Perhaps only the most avid travelers, people of extremes, can envy the life of scientists at the Vostok station. And air conditioning to exceptional natural conditions lasts at least 3 months. During them, the polar explorer experiences dizziness, respiratory arrest, loss of consciousness, and other evidence of a not very prosperous organism. At Vostok station, a person doesn't live, but slowly dies. People usually lose 5 to 10 kilos of weight on Vostok during the first month. There's as much oxygen in the air as there is at an altitude of 5 kilometers in the mid-latitudes. Therefore, the first problem after arrival is the body's reaction. It happens that a person gets into a bad condition within a few minutes of arriving. If they aren't evacuated in time, it leads to pulmonary edema. This leads to death from hypoxia in a few days. Some people feel fine, but they have to be very careful when walking briskly and lifting heavy objects. They immediately show signs of breathlessness and darkening of eyes. Anyone who gets up suddenly from a chair is bound to experience vertigo. Additionally, fatigue builds up as a result of apnea, and breathing can stop during sleep. A person needs 1 to 3 months to adapt to the conditions of continental Antarctica and start feeling normal. It takes 1 to 3 months. In our everyday lives, we almost always encounter some kind of insect, such as mosquitoes, beetles, butterflies, or flies. But there's nothing like that on Vostok. It's so unusual for a person that hallucinations sometimes occur. To polar explorers, it might appear that flies or bees are flying nearby. The water at the station comes from the surrounding snow. There are no salts or minerals in it. At first, there is no persistent feeling of thirst. As you may know, scientists drilled a well to Lake Vostok over a long time. In January 2011, at a depth of 3,540 meters, the frozen fresh water of the lake began. It's clean and it doesn't taste bad. You can safely brew and boil tea. In this tea, the polar explorers have not observed any unknown life forms that some scientists warn about. Planes only fly to Vostok from mid-December to the start of February. At any other time, it's not possible. They simply cannot land because the landing gear freezes to the ice. Sometimes a motorcycle arrives with fuel from Mirny station. At other times, no other equipment can reach here. If something happens, there's no one to help. The station's residential building is completely covered. It's under a 2-meter layer of snow. There is no natural light inside. You can exit through 2 exits, the main one and the spare one. The main exit consists of a door, behind which a 50-meter tunnel is dug in the snow. The alternative exit is short, leading to a steep staircase to the snow-packed surface above the station building. During winter, work involves daily ascents to the open air. It's necessary to ascend to the surface through the emergency exit and walk 400 meters from the small house. This is where the basic instruments and sensors are found. Outer clothing is put on first each time. Down jacket, warm pants, woolen gloves, leather gloves, felt boots, and a face mask. All these need to be properly secured, filled, and lanterns. A backpack with a thermos, tools, and a laptop need to be layered on top. Sometimes such expeditions need to be carried out multiple times a day, but these days pass faster, polar explorers laugh. As for the rest, life in Vostok has adapted over the course of 60 years, more or less modified. A living module, a dining room, a space for scientific work, a diesel generator, and other life support systems of the station. There are many buildings here. There aren't enough girls here, experienced polar explorers complain. In the summer, 25 polar explorers live and work here. In winter, the number decreases to 13. It's worth mentioning that during the 60 years of Russian exploration of Antarctica, only 7 women have wintered here. And remember to like this if all your friends do, and if you learn something new, drop a comment. See you soon.